Hey guys, welcome back. Orbomb here, bringing you another one of our live deck matches. Today we're doing Blaziken GX with the baby Blaziken as support versus Reshiram, the new Reshiram GX with Ho-Oh. Now, these two are very interesting decks. I'm trying to toy around with them. They're obviously not like the best. They're probably really good in standard. But Reshiram's actually really interesting, and it's actually a deck that I'm trying to take seriously. I want to build it really well. If you guys don't know what Reshiram does, it's a GX attack. It's a GX Pokemon whose GX attack, which is the main reason for using it, it does 180 damage and accelerates 5 energies from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. So that's really cool because it's like using Turtonator but taking a knockout. Now, obviously, Turtonator is a little bit easier to set up, but the positive thing about Reshiram is that Reshiram has the added effect of taking a knockout. And then we have a new trainer called Flint that gets you 4 energies from your deck to your hand by discarding 2. And then Blaziken is a really interesting card because it's 240 HP, which is a huge factor in a lot of games because it's hard to OHKO 240 HP Pokemon. And for 3 energies, it hits for 210 damage. And that's really cool. You have to discard 2 energies though. But then you have Baby Blaziken, whose ability is attach a fire energy from your discard pile to your bench, just like Mewmore. But it's a stage 2, so it's a little bit harder to set up. But being a fire type GX means you have access to cards like Ho-Oh GX's GX attack that can put Blazikens directly from your discard pile to your bench. So we're gonna see if we can abuse any strategies. Usually that's pretty hard to pull off, so I just kind of evolve up all my Blazikens and then use that Ho-Oh GX attack mid to late game if I need to. I'm going to go ahead and attach and retreat and just start, and then just like pass up, leave my Vulpix active. My opponent's going to want to use Kiawe turn 1, so I'm not even that worried about my opponent taking a knockout or anything, which is why I just wanted to retreat. He's not going to Guzma. I mean, nobody really plays Escape Rope, and I'm not worried about anything here, but ideally I can just beacon up a bunch. Now, this is a really awkward start for me. I do play 4 Nest Balls, 4 Acro Bikes, 4 Order Pads. There's lots of ways to get turn 1 Pokemon down. But we unfortunately whipped them all, and we also led with Lele, so nothing's looking that great here. So we're just gonna have to hopefully get a bunch of Pokemon next turn and just slowly evolve up. That's the bad part about a lot of these stage 2 decks. You don't want to, without Bridget, you have to play all these item cards, but if you whiff them, then it is what it is there. My opponent's gonna go and get Cynthia here. So while I'm whiffing a bunch of Torchics, my opponent's whiffing a turn one Kiawe. They are playing 2 Reshirams, 4 Nest Balls, a couple of Mystery Treasures to help you get turn 1 Kiawe, and ignore the dog in the background, guys. I'm dog sitting my buddy's dog Molly, and she's adorable, but I have to record here because this is the quietest place I can go to. Now my opponent lands a Nest Ball here to get themselves probably a they're getting Reshiram. What I usually do with Reshiram is sometimes I just do it mid to late game, but my opponent's gonna try to get it off early game. I don't blame them though, because there's a very strong GX attack and can knock out anything early game, which is really good. Its first attack for a colorless energy accelerates 2 fire energies from the deck to Reshiram, and its second attack does 110 damage and burns. Now, obviously, it's not as good as Ho-Oh's second attack, which is the Pokemon you usually want to accelerate to, but overall, it's not that bad either. It can take care of these babies. She's gonna go into that. Oh, this is actually my buddy Tony, not a she. My buddy Tony, the number 1, the self-appointed #1 Orbomb fan. My buddy Tony here actually came over to play games with Ho-Oh Reshiram versus this, and also the Kingdra decks that you're gonna see next time as well, which is gonna be one I'm really excited about. But that's a couple days ahead. You guys got some time before that one happens. Now I remember I had to re-record these videos because I thought Blaziken's ability was something else and I was using it incorrectly. So we just had to re-record these videos. Not to mention like almost all my videos got corrupted too. But we're gonna see if we can get off some Pokemon here. Now, unfortunately, we did whiff more Nest Balls, which is just ridiculous in my opinion. But we did get some Fire Energies, discard pile, and another Vulpix, and we're gonna Order Pad just to try to get ourselves some Nest Balls. But this is just horrible. This is just absolutely atrocious for me. So we'll see what happens though. We'll see if we can bounce back. Now, the cool thing about this matchup in particular is that once you actually get out your Blazikens, or your Blaziken GX to be specific, it's really hard for your opponent to deal with it because nothing can OHKO it. They're going to have to Sacred Fire into a banded attack in order to take a knockout, which is very difficult for Ho-Oh to do. So, well, not that difficult, but it's just annoying because if they ever spend a turn with the Blaziken being ready to attack, then they can, then they're going to guarantee lose a Pokemon. If they have to attack it twice to take a knockout, that's like 2 Pokemon lost. Of course, I do have to set up my board in order to make it work correctly, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that goes. Now, my opponent is playing Victini Prism in this deck because Victini Prism is very strong, hitting for 20 damage for each energy in your discard pile, and then it shuffles them all back in. So it's a good way to fill up your deck for a late game scenario while also hitting for a huge knockout with being a one prize attacker. So overall, it's not that bad at all. Now, there's no blowers in a lot of these formats, and a lot of these decks nowadays. There's not really a reason to play blower unless you're really worried about Choice Men, because Garbodor and Parallel City are no longer in this format. If you guys have not picked up, we are playing post rotation. But I'm sure you guys know that by now. But look at that. I finally draw nest balls. Look at that. Would you see? Would you look at that? Now I'm just sitting here going, man, I wish I found those earlier. My opponent's going to go and switch here. We are playing a heavy switch count to constantly be reusing our Ho-Oh's attack. And my opponent's going to use that first attack there to start setting up energies. I'm going to go ahead and throw down these nest balls. Finally be able to put down my Torchics. And I don't know what else is in my hand, but I might just have the Beacon here. The cool thing about this deck too is that with Beacon, you always feel safe to use Judge, because you can always judge yourself into a really bad hand and then use Beacon to get yourself a Lele for the following turn. So that's always beneficial, but you don't want to bench too much in this deck. That's a huge problem, is bench space. Because if you do want to use Ho-Oh's GX attack, you want to try to put down 1 or 2 Ho-Oh GXs down. I'm going to go ahead and Guzma here just to like keep my opponent stuck. I don't want them to easily be able to GX me next turn. And I think that's just going to be a Beacon for me. Try to get myself a couple Combusken, maybe a Blaziken if I have a Candy in hand. Definitely a Lele though, because I'm stuck and I don't want to be stuck. Yeah, Lele and Combusken here. And that's just going to be it for me. Now, let's see what my opponent can do. Let's see if they have Flint. If they have like Flint Guzma, Flint Switch, things like that, they can pull off the GX attack and just completely load up their board. And let's see, they are going to attach. My buddy Tony, I think he has a Flint in his hand, and I think that's a Guzma as well. I think he's being very careful. Oh, you know what? I think I remember this play. I'm telling him to take back that Fire Energy attachment, because if he has the combo, then he can just get a manual attachment that way while still attaching 3 energies, which is not bad. I think that's what he's going to do here. Let's take a look here, because remember, this is our first time playing these decks, guys. So please keep in mind, please keep that in mind, because we are very wary about these plays. We are going to make mistakes here and there. Yeah, I think that's what we're discussing here, is take back that play, discard it with the Flint, and then just manually attach one of the 4 energies you get. So he's going to go ahead and Flint here, discarding a Kiawe and a Fire Energy, and he's going to get 4 energies from his deck. This deck does play, I believe, 13 energies. I want to play more, but we do have to make this deck a little bit more consistent, so I had to cut out a couple energies. You don't really need that many energies, but it'd be nice to have more, so that you can constantly be attaching like my opponent did over there. But there's the Flint, and I believe he has the Guzman. He's probably going to go for one of these Torchics or the Lele, because you do want to take prizes while you can in this matchup, especially since Reshiram can knock out these things before they become Blazikens. So we'll see what my opponent does here. Attach there, and then Guzman the Lele. Yeah, okay. So they're going to go ahead and knock out a Lele for 2 prizes, while also accelerating a bunch of energies on the board as well. And please ignore the way Tony plays. For some reason, he just loves spreading his energies on the board. Yeah, and there we go. So 3 energies on a Ho-Oh while also taking a knockout is pretty strong. I'm going to go ahead and go out into Vulpix here. Look through my discard pile. I want to make sure I have enough Fire Energies to accelerate with. And luckily he didn't knock out a Torchic, so this does give me a turn to start setting up my board. Hopefully landing a couple really good cards here. I'm probably going to Cynthia, just because I have nothing else I really want to do. Obviously my opponent has like I believe a 2-card hand. So I'm not, or maybe a 3-card hand, but regardless, I don't want to copycat. I'd rather draw 6. And hopefully we can get ourselves like a rare candy Blaziken, some more Torchics down, and just continuously set up my board and see if we can bring this game back at all. It's looking really rough for me because I wasn't able to get any Torchics until what, turn 3? It's kind of wild. Also, sorry if the audio sounds weird. I'm actually trying to adjust it now since this is a different recording. This is not my recordings. This is not where I record usually. So I get used to some things. I do have another Torchic in hand I do want to play. I'm thinking about potentially using my GX attack this game, but not yet. So I think what I'm going to do, I'd rather just try to set up a bunch of Vulpix, a bunch of Blazikens now while he knocks out other Pokemon, and then I can maybe use my GX attack then. But for the time being, what am I going to do here? I don't really know. I see an Ultra Ball in my hand. I don't know what the rest of those cards are because I'm recording on a smaller screen. But I have Rare Candy. Yeah, I think I'm just debating if I wanted to evolve that into a baby Blaziken or not. And I'm just going to go ahead and Beacon here. Get myself Big Boy Blaziken. And probably another Big Boy Blaziken because I think my Combusken's prized. I play 2 Combuskens, but they're always prized, bro. They always end up prized in these games. Oh, well, here's what I'm going to do, actually. I'm going to get 2 Blaziken GXs to discard them so that I'm ready to use my Ho-Oh GX's GX attack and use those 2 Ho-Ohs to use those 2 Blazikens to get a baby Blaziken next turn so that I can have them in the discard pile while also getting myself a single baby Blaziken because that's really all I need right now. Let's see what my opponent's going to do this turn. I could also just evolve one of the Blazikens as well. but we'll have to see what happens. Because if I have Arcane in hand, I can get out 3 Blazikens next turn. Or I can get out 2 more Blazikens next turn, I should say. But my opponent can knock out a Reshiram. If they have another Guzma in hand, they can manually attach Fire Energy or switch and attack a Blaziken as well, or a Combusken or a Torchic. We'll see what my opponent wants to do here. They're gonna get Cynthia. Okay, so then no Guzma this turn. They can just play Cynthia. It's not a big deal. They're gonna manually attach. So now they have a Ho-Oh ready to go, and they have a Reshiram ready to go, and I have a Blaziken that's not ready to go. Although 1 manual attachment into a baby Blaziken and a retreat will get me a knockout on one of these cards next turn, which is really useful. Let's see if I can pull it off. It's gonna be a little bit hard to pull off because I would need to manually attach to the Vulpix or get a Guzma. It kind of makes me want to play a couple of switch cards in Blaziken to pull it off, but playing a stage 2 in general is really tight. Not to mention a stage 2 that has the same Pokemon that needs to be the same 2 different Pokemon that need to evolve from the same stage 1. So we'll see how this goes. Of course, this matchup is more for fun. It's not as competitive as, let's say, the 2 decks we showed off last time, right? And I'm going to be showing off a lot more competitive decks, like hopefully if I can record them in time. I am crunching for time. I have to leave in a couple of days, but I'm working most of these days as well. Just trying to make sure I have enough money to donate to my family. Also, follow me on Twitter, guys, so you can see updates like that for sure. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and knock me out here. Now, unfortunately, Blaziken only attaches to the bench, so I have to be very careful about how I play this hand down here. I'm going to go ahead and Ultra Ball away the 2 Blazikens to get Baby Blaze. Here, evolve that up so that that's ready to go. And now I have to figure out if I have a Guzma in hand, I can Guzma up a Ho-Oh and take a knockout. But I think I have Cynthia in hand, which means I'm not going to be able to pull off this play as much as I would like. I didn't attach that Choice Band because it's not useful on Blaziken. It is kind of useful on Ho-Oh because Ho-Oh it's the difference between knockout and not a knockout on Ho-Oh. And it's good on Lele too because if you can load up a bunch of energies on a Lele, you can knock out some of these 4 energy attackers. But because I only play 2 in this deck, I have to be very careful about when I drop those Choice Bands. So I decided not to play them down yet and just go ahead and just shuffle it back in the deck for the time being. Let's see if I can land. Oh, nice! I got another Blaziken. I could evolve here, but then it could be knocked out. So I have to be very careful about how this works. What I think I'm going to do is just evolve anyways and let it be knocked out. Of course, my opponent could always Guzma. So they have a couple options here. I'm going to go ahead and probably get myself another Vulpix, maybe, just so I can beacon more later if I need to. Plus, it gets it out of the deck as well. It doesn't seem like the most necessary thing ever. I could have saved that bed space for Ho-Oh, but oh, I remember my Ho-Oh was prized. I just remembered that because I remember looking for the Ho-Oh there to start loading it up, but it actually ends up being prized here. So this is going to be one of those turns where I think for a little bit, but I think it's in my highest interest to just try to evolve this Torchic into Baby Blaziken to set up both energies onto Blaziken on the bench so that I can be ready to attack next turn. Maybe even attach more energies to the Blaziken so that I can attack twice in a row. That's a possibility. Although my opponent could always Sacred Fire me and put me in range. It's a little bit rough here, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to Order Pad first just to see if there's any other possibilities I can come up with. I got heads because Order Pad is the best. And I'm going to get my... Oh, I could evolve this active one into a Blaziken GX as well. That's an option. Just to make it nice and fat. And that way I would have 2 Blaziken GX on board. Of course, I only have 1 Blaziken, Baby Blaziken on board. Like, the dream setup is 2 Blaziken GX and 2 Blaziken, and 2 Baby Blaziken. That's like the dream setup, right? But of course, you have to achieve that dream setup, which is never the easiest thing to do. Let's see what I'm going to go for here. I think I was thinking about that play, but I took it back and I was just like, I mean, if I get a manual attachment, this is good, I guess. But even if I get the manual attachment, I can't attach the energy to the Blaziken to the active, you know what I mean? So even if I were to pull it off, it wouldn't really do anything for me. Because unfortunately, the Baby Blaziken has 2 retreat costs, while everything else in the deck has 1, except for Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh also has 2. So I think I'm just gonna, yeah, if I remember correctly, I'm just gonna go ahead and evolve the active because the only way for him to knock me out is Ho-Oh, and if he knocks me out with Ho-Oh, I take a revenge knockout with Baby Blaze as well. So it does put me in a really awkward position because there's no more Torchics and there's no Ho-Oh in the deck right now either because it's prized. But we're just gonna see if we can work around this play. Oh, I remember this game being long. Hopefully this video isn't too long. There's going to be 2 games in this video. But I'm going to go ahead and just attach and pass. And now this thing has 150 HP. It's hard enough to knock out. Its attack is really interesting too. It does 90 plus 20 spread to all their Pokemon. It's like Flying Flip and with 90 damage as well. So it's not that bad. He's going to set up Victini. Now Victini is a huge threat because if I ever knock out his Ho-Oh or Reshiram, it puts 4 energies in the discard pile, which really increases the damage output that Victini can do. Victini is one of the only Pokemon in this deck that can actually OHKO Blaziken if I play into his trap, more or less. But he's going to go ahead and knock out Lele here, giving me access to attack with Blaziken, but putting me in a really awkward position. So we're going to see what we can do here. I don't have any more Vulpix. My other Torchic is prized, my Ho-Oh is prized, so I'm in such an awkward position here. What I could do is try to set up a Lele, start attaching energies to a Lele using my Blazikens and hopefully taking a knockout that way. But then, once again, he just comes in and knocks me out with Victini, so I have to be very careful with that. Now, he has put down quite a few energies. 4 in the active, 4 in the bench, and 5 in the bench. That's already 9 of the 13 energies in this deck, and he knows he has 13. I have to count his discard pile to see if he has any more energies, because he might have an energy prize, or just like overall has no more energies left in the deck. So I have to be very careful about that, which is another reason why I want to increase the energy count in this Ho-Oh Reshiram deck. But I digress. Let's see what we can do here. I am just gonna go ahead and take a knockout and see if I can get myself another Torchic off the prizes. And I did not, unfortunately. No, I did actually. That's really good. So we're going to evolve that Torchic up to a baby Blaziken, hopefully, and try to start winning this game. Hopefully. We'll have to see. My Blaziken can be 2 KO'd, but it does have a 1 retreat cost. And I might be forced to use Blaziken's GX attack here. If you guys don't know what it does, it's discard 2 energies off your opponent's board. If I can pull that off and stop my opponent from doing too much damage to me, or since my opponent already GX, he can't use Turtonator now, so I can stop that Victini from being able to blow me away as well. That could be really useful if I'm in that position. So my opponent's going to Flint here. They're going to look through their deck to see what they got, because if they get more energies, that'd be nice. Now they do have energies. He's going to grab a couple. He has 2, so I think I saw 3 energies in there, not counting the 2. Counting the 2 he just put active. So he should have 1 more energy in the deck, and he's probably, yeah, he's going to attach that one to Victini, causing some problems for me. And then he's just going to play, I believe that's a Cynthia or a Judge or something. I don't know, it's too off screen. I was telling them to make sure that things are off screen, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. I will see I think he's playing Cynthia. If he was playing Judge, I'd be shuffling my thing back in as well. So he's going to play Cynthia here, and he's going to go ahead and put some big damage on my dude. He just has to take 1 more prize too, so he's just looking for a Guzma. Of course, I think he's already played all 4 Guzmas. Now that I think about it, I think he's already discarded and played his Guzma, so I don't think he'll be able to Guzma around anymore, which is really nice if I can take a knockout. But if I take a knockout, Victini comes in and just blows me away. So we'll see what we can do. If I can run this man out of resources, I can still bring this game back, which is pretty nice. Let's see what happens. He's going to go ahead and hit me for the 50 and burn. So it's the 110 and burn, which becomes 130 because of the burn damage, and I flip, and I am still burned. So we're going to take more damage after this unless I retreat, of course. Let's see what we got. We got a Guzma of our own, actually, so we could probably pull off some cheeky plays if I get a manual attachment this turn. I don't think I have one in my deck though. In my hand though. That's another thing I want to increase the energy count on both these decks. I'm playing 8 energies on Blaziken, which is doesn't really seem like a lot, but realistically you only need 2 in the discard pile. I think we just saw 4 Guzmas when we did that search there, and I was counting the energy counts as well to make sure that 15 doesn't blow me away. But I'm pretty sure he can't Guzma me anymore, which is really cool. But anyways, back to Blaziken. You don't need that many energies, and with Acrobike and just overall discarding in general, you should be fine with having enough energies in the discard pile. But this is one of those times where I wish I had more so I could use my rescue stretcher, or so I could manually attach and take a knockout this turn as well. We are going to land the order pad to see what we can find. Let's see. We have Choice Band here. Choice Band could potentially get us a knockout, which is good. Oh yeah, so I'm probably going to attack with Blaziken here, right? Because for some reason I'm under the impression that I actually take a knockout with Blaziken. It's actually 2 KO. I'm hitting for 90. But if I can soften things up and put the things in range of Sacred Fire Ho-Oh, that could be really useful as well. I just have to take a prize and hopefully get a Ho-Oh off the prizes. So, we'll have to see here. I'm gonna go ahead and judge my opponent. I don't want them getting things that they could use to win the game with. You know, obviously. What I could do here is GX my opponent's Reshiram, because then they would have to find a manual attachment to retreat. And that also means they can't attack me next turn as well. So I do get to survive another turn. And that would stop me from being able to use Ho-Oh later, which I might just have to give up on Ho-Oh because it's priced. I'm gonna draw my 4. We did get the manual attachment, but we can't use Guzma anymore, which sucks. So what I'm probably going to do here is... what do I do? What do I choose to do? If I have Origami in hand, I can try to get Blaziken back, which is cool. I can also just retreat and attack with baby Blaziken on my bench, which is not bad either. That's an option. I can at least 2 a KO, cause some spread damage, put things in range of potential attacks in the future. Overall, it's not too bad. It's not ideal, but it's not bad either. Especially since he can't knock me out in one hit, at least with Reshiram. I have to make sure he's out of range of Victini as well, because I don't want him to knock me out with Victini. We can go ahead and attach here, and then use my ability twice on Blaziken, so I can start setting it up to attack. I think what I'm doing is... I don't remember what I'm doing actually. What am I doing here? I'm going to get rid of that energy in a second, guys. No worries. I think, oh yeah, there it is. And we're going to go ahead and attach those energies there. And yeah. I think that's really all we can do here. If I can get a rare candy, then I can evolve up another Blaziken and just go from there. I also have Lele in my hand to give me Guzma, so I definitely want to knock out that Victini, but I don't want to knock out that Victini with my Blaziken GX. It has to be with a baby Blaziken. Because that way I can take a knockout while also not being knocked out the following turn. Which also, did I misplay? Do I have enough energies to do that? I don't know if I do actually. I mean, if worst comes to shove, I can just Guzma up the Blaziken and then retreat manually into the baby Blaze, but then I don't, I need to make sure I have enough energies in the discard pile. I think I only saw 3, so I might have just misplayed that. I don't know, I don't remember. It's been a minute though. No, there's 2 in there. Okay, good. Just double checking. I thought for a second I was like, did I do this wrong? I was the one who played the game. Of course I didn't do it wrong. I mean, I would remember if I actually did it wrong. He's gonna go ahead and damage me. I already rolled and I'm not burned, so it's all good. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna nest ball here just to play it, get it out of my deck. You know what I mean? Just double check my Guzma counts and stuff like that. Yeah, okay. And then we're gonna attach these to Baby Blaze down here. And then, yeah, we're definitely going to go for that Victini because that Victini is such a monstrous threat. We have Stretcher in hand if we ever get, like, useful cards later. Maybe we'll get a rare candy off the prizes or something. And we're going to get Guzma here. Now, we have to discard an energy to attack with Blaziken, but that still gives us 2 more energies to... Oh, what am I doing here? Oh, I remember what's happening now. Yeah, okay, this makes sense. Okay, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. For some reason, even though I can totally see the number in the card, I thought my Blaziken hit for 150 and became 180 with the choice band. So I was ready to knock out a Lele, but that's not what happened. I remember this. So I was telling them earlier that what I should have done was knocked out the Victini. It didn't matter in the end because he got the Guzma, but what I should have done there was knocked out the Victini. That way I have a less... a lowered risk to actually lose the game. But my opponent did get the Guzma, so they're going to take game 1. We're going to go ahead and move on to game 2 here, and we're going to see if we can, have a better setup that time and not have, 0 Torchics for a couple turns there. Do keep in mind we're recording these when we're very tired and we're still trying to learn the decks as well. So these are really, really, really early in the morning before my family comes home. From work. So it's really the only time I can record, which is why I have to be very careful about when I record, and the days that I do work, I can't record. We're gonna mulligan, and my opponent's gonna mulligan too, so it's all good. And hopefully game 2 we can both get off our strategies off, right? You guys got to see the power that is Reshiram. Obviously we didn't get to attach 5 energies, but usually you're only able to attach 4. 3 was a little bit on the low end, but he had to pull off the strategy somehow. It ended up working out very nicely for my opponent, so. We're going to see if we can pull off anything like that ourselves. We did get a Torchic and a couple Nest Balls in our hand too, so it looks like we're actually going to have a decent setup. Is that 3 Torchics? That's 3 Torchics. Yo, that's wild. And we have 2 Nest Balls. That means we can get another Torchic and a Vulpix out, maybe even a Ho-Oh, but we usually save Ho-Oh for whenever we finally have our Blaziken set up. There we go. Ho-Oh active, 3 Torchics on the board, and we're going to get some stuff here. Gonna play a Nest Ball. I think I'm going to save that other Nest Ball for more Ho-Oh plays later in the game. I don't want to get a 4th Vulpix down because I want to have bench space available for a Ho-Oh GX attack later in the game if I need to. I'm just going to go ahead and Cynthia here. No need to, no need to put down too much, I could put down all 4 Torchics and just evolve them all up manually, but, I want to show off the Ho-Oh GX attack. I really do. So we're not going to do that quite yet. Excuse me. Oh, it's yawning. I'm real tired. Hopefully we can get a manual attachment here so that we can retreat. It's not super necessary to retreat turn 1, but it'd be nice. We're going to go ahead and Acrobike a couple times. Definitely want to keep Combuskin over the Ultra Ball. As nice as the Ultra Ball is, I got to make sure I can keep evolving up next turn. We have Order Pad for next turn that can get us that can potentially get us a Rare Candy, and we have Combuskin as well. So we have some options next turn. My opponent is going to go ahead and get down that Reshiram, just try to pull off the strat turn 1. But of course, if they Kiawe, they cannot do anything else this turn. So that's probably what they're going to do. Attach manually to the active, and then Kiawe the bench and go from there, I think. I mean, that might be what I do. I don't actually remember. It's been a while since we played this. But he's going to go ahead and Kiawe here. Definitely going to Kiawe the bench since he attached to the active. We did draw our energy so that we can start using Beacon, which is good. We're going to go ahead and Order Pad in a second. See if we can pull off any other strats. I'm probably going to judge my opponent too, because if they got the Reshiram, we did land the Order Pad because Order Pad is the best. If they did play the Kiawe onto Reshiram, that makes me think they have flints in their hands, so we're definitely going to try to judge my opponent so they can't pull off any strategies that they want to. That's at least our goal, which kind of means, I mean, it doesn't really matter in the end, right? We got Rare Candy, so we're just going to go ahead and Rare Candy up Blaziken here on the bench. And I could attach this Choice Band. It's not like the worst thing ever to attach a Choice Band here, but there's no one I really want to attach it to. So I think I'm just going to judge here. And once again, I do want to save these Nest Balls for whenever they actually become, oh no, never mind. I guess I'm not saving it. So I'm thinning instead. In my head, I was thinking about saving them because I do have the Ho this time, as you guys saw. And we can just get down to the Torchic. I think I'm giving up on the Ho play, actually. Now that we have like such a good board setup with a Combuskin and a Blaziken turn 2, and maybe even more Combuskins this turn, I'm just going to go ahead and judge here, and we'll see if we can get anything useful. And like I said, judging doesn't matter because I'm going to Beacon this turn and get my Lele from the discard, or get my Lele from the deck, so I have a draw supporter for next turn as well. So that's the cool thing about like judging when you have a Vulpix in your deck, is that you can always Beacon and make yourself feel a little bit safe because you have access to these cards, or these attacks, I should say. Let's see, we got Cynthia too, so we're not even that worried. I think that's a Blaziken in our hand. And we have Copycat as well, so if my opponent gets a lot of cards in their discard in their hand, it's always useful. But we're just gonna go ahead and, oh, you know what I could do actually, and what I probably should do is Ultra Ball to get another Combuskin, yeah. And then that way I can evolve 2 Pokemon into Blaziken next turn instead of just 1. So that's really, really cool actually. So we're gonna go ahead and Beacon here. This leaves us with the Cynthia in our hand and the ability to evolve up a bunch of things into Blaziken. So this is a much better setup than last game. We are about to, unless my opponent can judge me and give me 1 extra card, we are going to manage to get out 3 Blazikens turn 2, I think. Is this turn 2? Or turn 3, I guess. Yeah, I think this is turn 3. No, this is turn 2, because I Rare Candy 1 Blazikens, yeah. So turn 3, we'll be able to have like 3 Blazikens on the board. And if we top deck like a Rare Candy, we can potentially get 4 Blazikens on the board. So like, this is what I'm saying is power. We both are managing getting our setup here, but I did disrupt my opponent from getting a Flint. So my opponent's going to have to Copycat me for 3, because they don't have anything else they can really do in their hand. They could always switch and just start taking a knockout, which I think they're going to do before they do. No, they're not going to switch. Okay, they're comfortable not switching because they can just they can Sacred Fire one of these Combuskins and put them in range of Blaziken. Put them in range in case they become Blaziken GX. Of course, I'll just evolve the other one to Blaziken GX. That doesn't matter too much, but then you need to get a manual attachment first. So they're going to Copycat for 3, which is not great. This is why Copycat sucks, but we'll see what happens here. They got Choice Band, which is useful on Ho-Oh. And they got Manual Attachment. They have Dawn Wings. I play Dawn Wings in this deck because with Switch and Guzma, you can reset your Ho-Oh attack and come right back out with Guzma. We did top deck that Rare Candy. Dude, I forgot about this game. We top deck Rare Candy, and look at that. If we get another Blaziken out this game, this is going to be absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Let's see if we can draw ourselves into a Blaziken. But we do have 3 Blazikens with the potential to get a 4th one out. Now the question is, do I make it a GX or do I not make it a GX? If I don't make it a GX, it's really useful for the rest of my deck. For the rest of my attackers, like Lele and Ho-Oh in this matchup. But if I don't get a GX, then if I evolve into a baby, it's perfectly fine as well. We got another Rare Candy, which we definitely don't need. But I have Order Pad, which I can try to use to get Ultra Ball, which is cool. So let's see if we can land the Order Pad. And of course we land the Order Pad, because Order Pad is amazing. I'm an Order Pad enthusiast, if you guys did not know. It's one of my favorite cards in the game. But yeah, we did manage to get ourselves Order Pad, but like low-key, like memes aside, Order Pad is a very useful card just for helping you set up your board. Especially in these stage 2 decks if you're not playing Zoroark. If you are playing Zoroark, you don't need it as much, obviously. I'm going to choose to get the baby out because if I don't know how many energies I have in my discard pile, but I can manually attach, use all 3 of my abilities, and then to set up this Blaziken, and then retreat, and then take a knockout this turn in perfect world. Let's see if I have 3. I have 2. I am 1 short from actually being able to take a knockout this turn, which I should have counted earlier. Now I could play down that Ho-Oh and just start setting up energies there. It doesn't seem super necessary to me. All I'm probably going to do here is attach to there. Yeah, no, I think I attach to the active. I think what I definitely should do is attach to the active. That way I have a retreat option next turn in case he doesn't take a knockout. But I'm thinking that he probably will take a knockout. Of course, I think it's just best. Since I am probably going to get Mia Lele here to draw next turn using Beacon, I'm less worried about it. I also have Guzma in my hand as well, so there's options. I could always manually retreat, attach the energy, and then Guzma up a Pokemon and take knockout. But I'm going to go ahead and get Vulpix and Lele here, only because Vulpix is like the only other attacker in my deck. The only other Pokemon in my deck, I should say. So we'll see what my opponent can do. If they can get off a Sacred Fire play here, they're going to soften me up, which is going to be very useful for my opponent. But if they do manage to knock out Blaziken GX, I have access to my GX attack and Ho-Oh to pull off plays after that. So we'll see. He's going to go ahead and Sacred Fire here. And I'm definitely going to blow this man away while I can, because he has to GX me to take a knockout with a Choice Band. And if he doesn't get it, then ooh, what do I choose? If he doesn't get the Choice Band, then he doesn't take a knockout, which means I get another knockout myself, most likely. So let's see what we can do here. Now I can Guzma, but if I Guzma, then that Ho-Oh can have an easier time knocking me out, because he doesn't have the GX to take a knockout that way. I am going to bench the Ho-Oh because I don't think I'm going to. Yeah, I think I'm just going to make the Guzma play, because I'm expecting to probably be knocked out next turn, and then I'm going to try to use my Ho-Oh GX's GX attack after that. So we'll see what we can do here. And definitely take a knockout here, and we'll see what we can get off the prizes. Hopefully some good stuff. We got I got Fire Energy and an Acrobike, I believe, so that's pretty useful. Now, as you guys can see, no more backwards cards. We got all 4 Acrobikes now, thankfully. Shout outs to Kate for that one. So they get Manual Attachment and Choice Band. They do take a knockout. They have a Choice Band in hand, so even though I was banking on them not being able to get it, it looks like they might be able to get it this turn. So the Choice Band is there, and let's see if they have an energy or a way to get an energy. I think he's on a bench of Lele here. He's thinking about Kiawe, but he can't Kiawe. Let's see Kiawe to the bench. Does he not have Lele? I thought he had Lele in his hand. Oh, so he's just going to Sacred Fire me again for more damage. Unfortunately, whiffing a pretty big turn there for my opponent, but it is what it is, I suppose. There we go. Makes it a little bit easier to see. Alright, let's see what else we can do here. I can't GX yet. And I don't have Choice Band on my own. If I had a Choice Band on my own, I could take a knockout right now. But what I think I'm going to do here is actually really interesting. I'm probably going to GX now and just not use my GX attack later. Is that what I'm going to do? I don't know, actually. Yeah, I'm going to GX and just get rid of those energies so he can't take a knockout next turn. So that does put my opponent a whole turn behind and does guarantee me another knockout next turn if I can get a manual attachment. So that's actually really cool. And we do have the manual attachment in hand. So unless my opponent gets Judge here, then we should be able to take a knockout next turn. So he's going to go ahead and Kiawe the bench one. We're not going to be able to GX with Ho anymore, but now we're just a choice band away from winning the game. And even if we whiff it, we could always just Icy Snow with Vulpix as well. We're going to go ahead and draw here. Get our manual attachment going, and let's see if there's anything else I want to do. Not really. I have 2 Lele's in my hand, so if he takes knockout, we can Guzma around and stuff. And there's no more energies in my deck, in my discard pile. So I am just good to take a knockout here and finish the game off, potentially next turn if we can land a choice band. We'll have to see. It's an Ultra Ball. Get himself a Lele. He might get himself a Guzma, so it means I have a harder time winning next turn. I wouldn't hate that play. But he's gonna get Cynthia instead. Okay. I think he forgot to bench the Lele. I think we were talking about that in the turn after he draws. He's like, dude, where's your Lele, bro? So I think he draws into his only Lele left in the deck, and then he's just like, oh wait, I forgot to play this down, didn't I? I was like, oh yeah, you did, huh? Yeah, so he's just gonna grab the Cynthia. Don't worry about it though. The Lele will be put back down in a second. Yeah, he'll be able to take a knockout here. And then we have to hopefully get a choice band. If we don't get a choice band, we can always attack and then Sacred Fire the following turn. And if he does take a knockout on us, we could just, hit him with that powerful Icy Snow from Vulpix. Because Vulpix is out here being an MVP. You already know how it is. Dude, the friend thing just came out in Pokemon Go when I'm recording this, so dated. But if you guys haven't added me, dude, in the Discord, in the announcements tab, there is the thing for Pokemon Go. You guys totally friend me up because I'm trying to get me some Vulpix, some Alolan Vulpix. You already know I'm trying to get me some Alolan Ninetales. All the Orabomb fans know for the most part that like Ninetales is one of my top 10 favorite Pokemon, and I love it. The Alolan Ninetales in specific. But you can hook me up with some gifts. That's always welcome. Anyways, let's see what my opponent's gonna do here. Can they do anything else really? I guess it's just kind of their energy counts, because if they have enough energies to blow me away with Victini, they can still potentially win this game. We'll have to see though. He hasn't GX'd yet, so he can always use Turtonator GX because we still play a 1-of Turtonator in this deck in case the Reshiram strategy does not work out very well. But yeah, he's gonna go and take a knockout here, and we're just gonna go up into this because I don't think we have a. Yeah, we have a Fire Energy in our hand actually, so we can just, this doesn't matter in the end. Manually attach here. Order pad, let's see if we can get Choice Band. I think we got Tail, so yeah, no Choice Band. Usually I like to flip for the, like to keep the flip on the camera, but it's fine, it's not a big deal this time. I can Lele and draw, I guess. I don't know if that's like the best play ever. I don't see a reason to not do it though. I wish Sycamore existed, right? Because then we could just like draw 7 and not be in an awkward position. Alright, so we'll go ahead and use one Blaziken's ability to attach to the Ho back there. And I will retreat, I think. Yeah. Surprised I'm not trying to draw into the Choice Band, but I think it's just my odds are so low. And we're going to go ahead and set up that Vulpix just in case, Just in case. Vulpix is ready to take souls. Oh, you know what it is? I think I'm keeping the Lele so I can Guzma next turn just in case. So if he does manage to take a knockout somehow with like Dawnwing, Switch, Choice Band shenanigans, we can just finish the game off with Vulpix. So this game is looking like a dub on my side. Let's see what my opponent can do here. They have Choice Band in hand, so they can take a knockout if they manage to get off the play. They're going to attach there. It is a 1 retreat, so if they do have the switch, it's an option. Ultra Ball. Are they going to get, what are they going to get here? But yeah, I don't think we have a way to lose this game. If he doesn't judge me here, we should win 100% of the time. Because we have, unless of course all of my Guzmas are gone. He's gonna get Turtonator here. Too little too late, but it's still there. I think he realizes he's running really low on energy. And he has to get that Tornado ready. Oh, he's like, oh, you know, he just looked at me. He's like, oh, I could have Nestwalled for that Tornado, but that's fine. He didn't need to. So there, he's attaching energy there. And he's going to go ahead and switch. And here's where the Guzma comes into play. We could always Sacred Fire, but yeah, we're totally going to use Guzma. We're totally going to use Guzma. I'm going to drop this Lele right now. I'm going to show him who's in charge because Vulpix is out here taking souls. Icy Snow that dude for game. And we are done here. All right, guys. Don't forget to drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe, share, all the good jazz. And tomorrow there'll be a deck profile for either Blaziken or Reshiram, Ho-Oh, one or the other. And then the next day will be the other deck. And then the day after that will be another game between these two decks. So definitely be ready to see some more action between these two decks. They're both really, really fun. Ho-Oh, well, Blaziken is like a menace if it can set up. And Reshiram is really, really strong if it can take a knockout while also accelerating a bunch of energies. So definitely two really cool decks, two really cool deck ideas we've been working on together. So yeah, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, share all the good jazz. And remember, if this video does get 80 likes, we do upload decks right away. So there's that benefit. See you guys next time. Peace.